Your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hey, what's up? How's your Wednesday going? Phil Elson, Matty T, Drew Barrett, carrying you through lunchtime. Maybe eat a little bit later than 1 o'clock. That's what we have to do. We're not the only ones who eat lunch after 1.
I actually eat lunch at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Drew. I was going to remind myself. Drew Barrett, who of course works on the morning show as well, means that you're on the early bird schedule.
Oh yeah,
and you're eating like 78-year-old would.
Oh yeah, I eat breakfast at about 4:45. Then I eat lunch at about 9:15, 9:30, and dinner at 5.
I'll eat lunch when Clay Henry comes on because he never talks to me anyways.
So you get about 30 minutes then, I guess, to digest your food.
Hey, Drew. Hey, Phil.
It's good planning. Good planning. What's up today? 877-377-6963. Crumple our box score. Mentally, we've crumpled the Georgia Southern box score, but we'll
mentally
do it
we crumpled that up on Sunday.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we tried to review Georgia Southern and nobody wanted it.
Yeah, there's no purpose to it.
That's true.
Honestly, it's really when you're opening SEC play, when rubber now meets road. You can get past that third game. If it was Texas, if it was still Texas that week, you would have had the glow go over you a little bit more so. Of course, we've already done that. All right, I dug into some Texas A&M stuff. Found a few things that might be a little bit different from this Aggies team that I guess a lot still expected of them. Feels like the expectations might have gone down a little bit for Texas A&M by virtue of, just not really getting great quarterback play just yet. Their defense, Drew, still is, putting up numbers that are, best in the nation in terms of scoring. They haven't allowed a point in 7 quarters. They've given up, 17 points. That's it this season. And that's coming back from one of the toughest teams to score against in the nation last year. And they're returning a lot of players from that defense, 9 of them, if I remember my game notes properly. They don't have the same offense that they had, last year, which was a fairly efficient group. You had a great offensive line, and you had a 4-year starter at quarterback in Kellen Mond that just got a little bit better every year, and really, I think, turned into a really good college quarterback. His last
decent
2
guy.
seasons. And he ate the Razorbacks up the last 2 years that these teams matched up. You don't have that offensive line now. 4 of the 5 starters on the A&M offensive line from last year are gone. And I don't know if the players that they've put in their place, the replacements, even though one of them was starting left tackle for about a season and a half at Tennessee. Not like that really means very much because it wasn't a really successful offense for the year and a half that Jameer Johnson was the left tackle at Tennessee with Josh Heupel running the show. But, all the talk last year, Drew, not all the talk, but so much of the talk with a team that dominated defensively was about the defense. One thing that A&M did really well last year, nobody else in the SEC did it better, and only 5 other teams in the nation last year had fewer tackles for a loss allowed than Texas A&M.
That's some pretty good protection.
And they only gave up 7 sacks all of last season against the 10-game SEC schedule. Arkansas,
that's some really good protection,
did not get Mon down. And, of course, he's really good evading the rush, and he could run on his own anyway. But, 7 sacks for an entire season, that's less than 1 per game, for crying out loud. And if there's one area where defensively it looks like Arkansas is a bit more than last year, there should be a pass rush. There has been a pass rush. and you've got the ability to generate a pass rush for the first 3 games, no SEC teams, with 3 down linemen. And so it this is not the same Aggie offensive line, and statistically it even bears the truth too. Mm-hmm. They've already given up 6 sacks this year, 7 last year. It's not like they're
a little bit of a difference.
It's not like they're picking Nathan King and or Haynes King and Zach Calzada up over and over and over again. But 2 sacks a game allowed so far this year, heck of a lot more than last year. And the Hogs have a better pass rush. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Drew. It feels like there's an opening there for Arkansas to do something where, it still might be difficult to move the ball on a consistent basis offensively against Texas A&M. What if your defense gives you a good short field? What if Trey Williams beats Jameer Johnson a couple of times early and sets up a short field for you?
Well, that's ultimately the plan. And, I was listening to Chris Landry, one of the many experts on college football, talk about this Texas A&M front line and the newness of them. He says that they have improved. Listening to him, says that they have improved week to week. But one thing that they still struggle to do is they overextend. They try to extend their arms too far, which basically gets you beat as an offensive lineman. So they're still young. They're still making mistakes. He's talked about some trouble with their footwork, but they are improving, and that's what you ultimately want. You want guys like John Ridgeway up front to create the havoc and get into that backfield, because when you're playing a young quarterback, the best thing you can do is get after him early. Make him worried. Make him nervous in that pocket. Make him feel like he's got to escape, when in reality he's still got 2 more seconds. You want to shorten his mental clock as much as possible. If normally he's at a 4 or 5 second clock, you want him to think he's only got 2. So the pressure and the upfront battle, and I know it's one of the biggest cliches in all of college football and all football in general, is that it all starts up front. Whoever is able to dominate the trenches is the one who's going to win. Well, the cliche works here. Because not only do you have young, inexperienced offensive linemen on the A&M side going up against a very good front 3 and, obviously some blitz packages with the linebackers on Arkansas. On the flip side of that coin, you're kind of looking at the exact same thing. While Arkansas's offensive line has been very well, there is injuries there. You don't know how healthy they are going to be against, I would say, top 10, top 15 defense in the country.
Well, and on the flip side here, Arkansas has only allowed 2 sacks. Now, admittedly, 68% of their offensive plays are runs. So it's not like you have to worry so far about KJ dropping back too often. He's going to need to throw more often than 3 times out of every 10 plays would be my guess going into this next game. All right, 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts. Zach just sent a text that I was going to get at in the next segment, which I'm going to highlight a couple of these matchups at the line of scrimmage defensively for Arkansas versus the Aggies offensively. That'll be really key. But we got Cody on hold here on halftime. Cody,
what's up, Cody?
You are batting leadoff today. What's going on?
Hey, not a whole lot. It feels good outside. Finally feels like football season.
It's a little chilly to me.
It does. You could call this crisp and chilly.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I think Phil, correct me if I'm wrong. Last year we actually played man a lot in the secondary with A&M, and I believe we went 4 front sometimes. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind. But as far as total domination goes, Pittman even said this in his conference. He thought A&M was the best team he had played, besides Bama, of course. But he really gave them a lot of respect. But here's what it comes down to. If Stromberg or our starting center is out and Wagner's out, it's going to be a tough game, guys. Yeah. It's going to be a real tough game no matter how you look at it. And then another thing, it all comes down to if the defense can limit big plays. Since we started playing A&M in Jerry's world, when we lose games, it always comes down to big plays. And if we limit big plays, we're probably going to win the game if we have our offensive linemen full and healthy. But if we're giving up big plays and we have to – because we're relying on the run game so much that if we get behind 14, 21 points, from what we've seen from KJ we love him and everything, but from what we've seen from KJ, it's going to be hard for us to make up a 14, 21-point swing this year. We just haven't had the explosive firepower on offense that we need to see. So it comes down to defense holding big plays, and it comes up to us being healthy on the offensive line. That's just my take on it. But I do think we have a chance to win. Jimbo's just done a really good job as far as building a solid foundation and a solid program there. And then last thing, Drew, congrats on a big win by Memphis. That's not an upset. That's not an upset. Mississippi State's so overrated.
Don't get him started on it too much.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
He about blew a gasket yesterday. Yeah. And as far as big plays for Texas A&M goes, I would expect Ainias Smith is playing. But he sat out for the second half with an undisclosed injury, and according to Jimbo Fisher, he's day-to-day. And as far as what Cody mentioned with Dalton Wagner and Ricky Stromberg, they did not practice yesterday. And the prevailing thought usually is if you haven't practiced by Wednesday, then you're probably not going to play. So today be a pretty big day, and I'm sure Sam Pittman will be asked about that at his afternoon press availability. And then there's Sam Pittman Live later on tonight. So I kind of agree. It's going to be a tough road to hoe if you don't have one of the best centers in the SEC and your starting right tackle, who Sam Pittman has pointed out. These two guys have been huge into Arkansas generating the 8th best rushing offense in college football. Halftime's right back.
The start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. That's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Sammy Hagar hammered out this classic hard rock tune, There's Only One Way to Rock. The Bible hammers out this hard rock truth, There's only one way to God. And this world can disagree. They don't understand how this must be. And it's not my point of view, it's a fact, and you know that it's true. There's only no way that Jesus and his disciples would willingly die for what they knew to be a lie. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
The start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online.
Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Who's gonna tell you no? Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours. Participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Halftime, we'll be back on the road live in person at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas at the Fort Smith branch Friday as we get you set for the Southwest Classic. That'll be located at 12907 Highway 71 in Fort Smith. So we'll be there 11 till 1 at Farm Credit, and you should be out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Come see us.
By the way, they're going to be registering right now for a $500 weekend outdoor giveaway, $250 gift certificate to Gaston's, $250 to the Woodsman Company. You go to myaglender.com to enter. And you've got until 5 p.m. on Friday to enter that. All right, I did want to get into some of these matchups on the line of scrimmage, but I also wanted to get into Did you see this story, Drew, about the Rutgers players who've been suspended for participating in what I read on NJ.com, the official news website of all things New Jersey, that they were involved in a drive-by paintball shooting and shot 3 of their fellow students in a drive-by on Monday with paintballs. Probably not a very good idea.
No, not a very good idea.
If you're planning on playing against Michigan, these 2 guys have been suspended. One of them is one of their top defensive backs.
Yeah, I mean, your Rutgers is 3-0, actually looking like a decent program at this, and then they go off and do something stupid. They have players do something stupid like that, and also, I don't know where they came from, but where I come from, you don't fake a drive-by. Like, that is a big no-no. And, like, people.
From where you come from, I love how you put in this, too, because, and look, I've been to Rutgers for a basketball game.
Like, I don't know how bad is Newark, New Jersey?
The school is in Piscataway. And
okay.
So, I mean, New Jersey essentially is broken into 2 categories. It's either southern New York or it's eastern Philadelphia. You know, for me, New Jersey doesn't really exist as its own state. It's really just 2 big suburbs. And here, my parents lived there for quite a while. But, yeah, Newark is a rough place. Newark is known as a really rough place. And there are definite parts of Jersey that I don't think you'd want to be caught late at night. I don't know if the campus of Rutgers. You do a fake
drive-by, somebody's going to do a real one on you.
Well, let me say this, too. So I've also been on the campus of the University of East-West Memphis. I wouldn't be walking around there late at night. The same thing.
Oh, that's fine.
It's kind of the same thing.
University of East-West Memphis, it's fine. You just got to know where to go.
Did you ever get attacked by paintballs?
No, never got attacked by paintballs. I do have some wild stories of some things that happened. I had
I love how that phrasing goes together. Some wild stories of some things that happened.
I'm not
spare no details.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't want to make my university and my city look bad. Some of them
don't.
They aren't very flattering stories.
You do that every time you talk about them.
I appreciate that.
Don't worry about it.
But
I remember getting it was I guess I was 16, 17 years old, right when paintball started to get really popular, and a bunch of friends and I drove out to a paintball facility where we just did this for the first time. Happened to pick the day that, a group of guys that basically created their own paintball battalion, and had war practice together, came out and decided to destroy the teenage kids from the city. Like I always wanted to like have a movie death.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite ones was Victor Maitland in Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, the dude looked like he got riddled by 150 bullets. So I kind of acted like that at that moment and then dropped. And it was like, well, this was my Hollywood death.
Well, they hurt, don't they? I mean, I've never been shot by paintball. I've never been paintballing.
Even with the catcher's gear and the mask and the helmet, you felt those things.
Oh, I'm sure you did. So, which is why, like, if I was a student just walking on campus and I felt like a paintball hit me, my first reaction would be I just legitimately got shot. And I'm sure that's kind of the reaction that those 3 students had. But, I mean, these are college students. I mean, a lot of people call them kids, but they are of an adult age. And just what makes you think that that's funny or that's acceptable to do? I don't get that factor of it.
So on somewhat of the same vein here, there's a defensive lineman for Texas A&M I'm anticipating he'll play Saturday.
He played last week.
Because he played against New Mexico. McKinley Jackson. He was an SEC all-freshman defensive lineman last year. I read this in the Eagle newspaper, which is the small paper that covers Bryan College Station and basically the university.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, McKinley Jackson, in April, the security camera at his apartment building recorded a canister falling out of his backpack. You know, it was a Santa Clean canister. I guess the kids sometimes stuff other things inside, things that look like Coke cans and coffee canisters, and this is what I hear. It's what I read about.
I mean, they normally don't stick, pieces of little strips of paper with Bible verses on or anything like that. It's normally,
right. Well,
it's normally bad stuff.
In this case, it was like almost 22 grams of a drug that was thought to be Xanax. That's what Jackson told the authorities, and about an ounce and a half of weed. All right. Now, security video showed it came out of his backpack. The janitors found the backpack or found the canister. Open it up. What do you think they see inside of this stuff?
The Xanax and marijuana.
Turn it over to the cops. Jackson admits this is my stuff, and that's Xanax, and this is weed, and this is mine. Turns out that this stuff might be ketamine, which takes the charge from a misdemeanor to a felony.
That ain't good. I mean, that's a pretty big jump in charges.
He hasn't been indicted yet, and he won't have to go back in court until February. And he was suspended when the arrest when he was arrested in August. And keep in mind, this incident occurred in April. But he was brought back to the team after it looked like a couple of weeks of practice, missed the first 2 games, and then played last week. You know, he hasn't been indicted. But there's going to be felony charges on this guy, and he's going to end up making some tackles against Arkansas on Saturday. And I'm sure Jimbo's been asked about this, a few times, but it's a little bit of a head scratcher when you look at it.
It is a little bit of a head scratcher because most of the time when you have players that get involved in these type of situations, that get arrested for drug-related charges, most of the time it is a full long season suspension or at least a stay away from the team until all the legal stuff works itself out. Let's get, make sure you're not going to prison, and then we'll worry about football. To where it feels like, let's worry about football, and if prison comes, which is definitely not the best way that you want to run your program. But then again, I don't know all the ins and outs. I read the story just like you did and just like you explained to everybody else, and just on face value, it looks kind of bad and kind of troubling on Jimbo's program. That seems that they're taking an approach of win at any cost rather than running it the right way, which when you have situations that are involving law enforcement, it's best just to suspend the guy, get him out of your program. I'm not saying abandon the guy whatsoever, but let's figure out the long-term effects of what happened on this young man's life as far as jail time, fines, and everything else before we worry about how many sacks he's going to get or how many tackles for loss he's going to get on Saturday.
Well, he had 1 tackle against New Mexico. I'm anticipating he'll be out there against Arkansas. Clay Henry joining us after the break. We're brought to you by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas. They invite you to get out there and check out the new RF Series fixed-chamber round balers from New Holland. They're simple, tough, and affordable, and make it easy to create quality bales in a wide range of conditions. Now, these are the perfect choice for smaller livestock farms, sundowners, and rural lifestylers. Williams Tractor can help you choose from 3 models, 1 for 4x4 bales and 2 for 4x5 bales. And you can ask about 0% financing offers or choose cash discounts. RF Series round balers, modern productivity, proven simplicity. Call or come by Williams Tractor, Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas today. All right, Clay Henry's next. Stay with us on Halftime.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career, working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Fridays is bringing a world of flavor to your table. Come by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and explore new appetizers and cocktails inspired by Fridays around the world. New appetizers like Wing Around the World and the Potato Skin Passport. Check out our new ultimate cocktails like the Double Berry Mojito. Stop in or order online for convenient curbside pickup at Fridays.com. Come taste a world of flavor at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. Over 120 Rath Road Ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now. Some with discounts up to $4,800 below retail. Plus, we're putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the top local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, and up to a $100 rebate when you use your Meineke credit card. Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,800 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced.
This is ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, let's get in here with Clay Henry, talk about this Arkansas-Texas A&M battle. No need to go over all this stuff about, is this bad for recruiting now? Should this be on campus sites and everything?
We've already talked about that.
Let's just understand that that's going to happen. For this game specifically, Clay, Cody called in earlier, and he brought up the first thing that I wanted to ask you about. You need Ricky Stromberg and Dalton Wagner. It kind of feels like you need both of them because – Sam Pittman has been so complimentary of specifically his center and his tackles that it just feels like if two out of those three guys are not playing, and with all due respect to Ty Clary playing at the center position and moving Brady Latham over to right tackle, it just feels like, I don't know, feel a lot better about this game if both Stromberg, even one of them was out there.
You're right, and that's the critical aspect. I think I've mentioned in my keys the best teams are the ones that when you get to the end of the season, and that's in all due respect to all the other positions, but the best teams are the ones that have the same offensive lineman for 12 games, and it happens. It's not usual. You're going to have a guy here or there, and then of course, the last several years, it's been really musical chairs. You didn't know who you're going to have week to week, and it was lots of times true freshmen or walk-ons. I remember being stunned 4 years ago. I guess it would be 5 years ago when we would look out there for the first snap. Brett Bielema started Ty Clary at guard. A true freshman walk-on that had never played guard in a game. He played left tackle at Fayetteville High. So those are the kind of things that you have to avoid. You want to have experience, in that offensive line. It's the hardest position to play and requires the most experience, the most snaps. You have to have a mesh. You have to know what you're doing. And in this offense, which you never huddle up, there's not a lot of opportunities to say, hey, young fella, this is what we do on this play. Because you're getting that signal from the sideline 6 ticks before the snap. They're holding the play call and waiting to put the defense in a bind, so they have to line up late. And there's not a lot of communication that can happen, so they have to know it. And so when you shuffle in the offensive line, it's problematic.
Well, and again, with all due respect to Ty Clary, specifically to him, because Sam Pittman has said he's an extremely valuable player. You can't discount that at all. But the starters are starters for a reason, and that's what I keep going back to. On the A&M side, Clay, like their offensive line has been a little bit of a mess. They had 4 starters that left and were onto the NFL or graduate. They bring in a left tackle from Tennessee, and he wasn't all that good at Tennessee, Jameer Johnson. They've got a true freshman at center, a world-class athlete outside from playing football, I know, but I don't know. It feels like there could be an opening for Arkansas defensively to really create some pressure.
Yes, and that's I was talking with Travis Brown, who writes for the Bryan paper, College Station, yesterday. He and I are on the Football Writers Selection Committee, All-American Committee, the 2 SEC reps, and we just point blank came up with the same key to the game, and it's which of these offensive line can handle a little adversity, because it's happening on both sides. Now, to Arkansas's credit, all of their guys that they're talking about playing, and I would not discount Ricky Stromberg from being out there. Now whether he finishes the game, that's another matter. Dalton Wagner, I think, has a chance to be out there. This back thing, it flares up, he gets spasms, and then he's it's done for a little while, and then he's better, and then they come back. So he could be able to play. Key is that these guys, they probably need to practice a little bit today to give them confidence that that they can go. You don't practice in the offensive line, you probably don't get to play. So, but Texas A&M, you go across the board, and they've got a transfer at left tackle. They've got a freshman redshirt at left guard. Luke Matthews is supposed to be their center, Clay Matthews' son. He's a junior, played one letter. Terrific player. Everybody thinks that he's the next great one there at Texas A&M. But he's been hurt, and he hasn't played in 3 games. He's practicing a little bit this week. He has not played or practiced the last month. It would be doubtful that he would make a huge impact in the game. But Bryce Foster, the true freshman, and then another true freshman behind him, Wyckoff, they're not sure which one of those gives them their best chance. Neither one have played very well. And they might throw Luke Matthews in there in the second half if things aren't going well. But they don't want to play Luke without having him practice. Layden Robinson either is hurt or hasn't played well, maybe a little bit of both, is the right guard. And so Kenyon Green, who's their best player, played guard last year, is an NFL prospect, moved him to right tackle, which is where he thinks he can make his money in the NFL, and that's where he wants to play. Out of desperation, they moved him to right guard last week, and he wasn't happy. Blake Traynor, who's a sophomore, played in his stead. And they have not been a cohesive unit in the offensive line. And they'll get better because these are all highly regarded players, highly recruited, viewed as great talents. But that's not what makes a good offensive line. What makes a good offensive line is reps, experience, and knowledge of what they're doing and what their teammate beside them is doing.
Clay, just face value of this game, without doing an incredible deep dive into both sides, it feels like both sides.
Let's do deep dive. Let's do deep dive.
All right. Well,
I'm joking. I'm joking. Go ahead, Drew.
Both defensive plans is to take away the run and to make Calzada for A&M have to beat you with his arm, and for our A&M's plan is to make KJ have to beat them with his arm. So if both defensive strategies work, and this basically is a no on the ground type of game, who has the favor? Who do you think would be favored in a Calzada or KJ matchup if it's only through the air?
Okay, I'm gonna. You asked a good question, and I'm not gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna do a deep dive.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think it's more complicated than that, because Texas A&M has not stopped the run this year. They did last year. They have struggled. They've given up chunk plays. This is an experienced defense, but for whatever reason, they've been bothered. Running quarterbacks have bothered them, and you wouldn't think that New Mexico and Kent State would have superior players, but they've hurt them with some chunk plays. So I think Arkansas can run the ball a little bit, which is critical, because then takes away the blitz, which is what they want to do. Now, I'll get to your question now. Who can pass it? Well, it comes down to which offensive line can protect. Arkansas didn't protect in critical situations last year. Franks had a lot of running yards, but he also had some sacks. Arkansas did not touch Kellen Mond. Did not touch him. And he passed, let's look at the stats, 21 out of 26 with a couple of throwaways. Can this offensive line protect him? I don't think they can. I think that's the critical aspect about this. I think Calzada is a game manager. I think he's much of a running threat, which really helps Arkansas's pass rush. Now, I'm going to wrap all this up by saying I think Arkansas has a chance to win. Texas A&M has the better players. They've got this, kind of the momentum in this series. But I think you throw momentum out because this is a different Arkansas team with a different mindset, and I think it's going to be a terrific game with a lot of fun. And I give Arkansas the advantage in the passing game with K.J. Jefferson based on what I've seen 3 games, based on what I've seen Texas A&M.
Well, let's touch on that. Let's touch on that in the next segment as Clay just is that called doving into the game? Mm-hmm. As Ty might call it.
I like deep dives, man. I used to go up to the platform and do 3 flips.
Got any questions for Clay? Get them in 877-377-6963. And halftime comes right back.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless, at 479-478-6616. That's 479-478-6616 for more details. Or stop by our location at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. Or visit us online at www.shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SE programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! People seen it, but they just don't know. People seen it, but they just don't know.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, hitthatline.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
We got another segment with Clay Henry, publisher, editor, Hogs Illustrated, on the Morning Rush, of course, twice a week, and gives us a couple pieces of his mind every Wednesday here on Halftime. 877-377-6963 if you got questions for Clay. Clay, we went into the commercial break. You told us you feel like they're like Arkansas might have the chance to have the better passing day than Texas A&M. You know, and yeah, KJ has, I think he's looked good. I mean, he made a couple of really gorgeous throws in the Georgia Southern game, and statistics, the stats do speak for themselves usually. What have you seen in these first 3 weeks specifically that makes you think that they could have success against the Texas A&M defense?
Well, I think that you see that they have a couple of big-time players at wide receiver. I really like what I see in Warren Thompson. He's the kind of receiver that would be fought over by Texas A&M, Arkansas. I mean, he was a 4-star, went to Florida State. Kendall Briles had him, and he knows the offense because he was in Kendall Briles' offense there, and he has stepped in and has done a marvelous job. I mean, it's just there's a reason why they gave him a scholarship this week or last week, whenever it was. But I think that you also see growth with Treylon Burks playing a little better, and I suspect that you'll see a little more from him this week. And those are guys that can make plays against the top athletes in the SEC, and that's part of it. And I continue to see growth with Blake Kern. I think you'll see the tight end used. In fact, the tight end in this game might be a critical aspect because Texas A&M has got a great one with Jalen Weidermeyer, and he's Arkansas has to account for him. And just remember, 85 for Texas A&M. You better account for him. And when you're trying to stop the run with your linebackers and safeties, and you get a play-action fake, that tight end has got to step on you. And now Kellerman could find him. Now I don't know how Calzada will be. Knowing that this is a play where I've got to convert 3rd and 8, and I'm gonna hang in the pocket for 3 or 4 counts after this play action so he can run this crossing route. And they could do that with that offensive line last year. So, again, I'm going to go back to how each team protects, and can they run it a little bit so that play action works. And maybe they can't. Maybe it's going to be a low-scoring game, which I like that in Arkansas's favor. I'm excited about this game. This is what football ought to be in the SEC. This is a big-time game that affects the season for bowls and everything else.
Yeah, Clay, and if everything goes to basically according to Sam Pittman's plan and the way that you just laid it out, not just for me and Phil, but our entire audience, and they're able to win the Southwest Classic and get that 9-game losing streak off their back, would this A&M win replace the feather in Sam Pittman's cap as best win, replacing the Texas win 2 weeks ago, or do you still think that one was more important just due to the momentum that it's brought and the recognition it's brought to the program? Would A&M win take over that top spot?
Well, I don't know that you ever replace a victory over Texas, but this is a 9-game losing streak against a team that you're recruiting against. So the combination of the two trumps just beating Texas. And I know what the headline on our magazine will say next week. If Arkansas wins, it'll say they've beaten Rice, they've beaten Texas, they've beaten Texas A&M. Do you have a headline for me?
I'm guessing Texas State champs.
Boom, you got it. So
Southwest
95, they were Alabama state champs. They beat Auburn in Alabama. This is comparable. I mean, it's when you recruit in Texas against the top two teams, and it's huge. Now the Texas A&M game has grown in importance since Texas A&M has won games. So you need to end that stream. And so but is it bigger than Texas? No, it's not. Mm-hmm. But it's important. And it is it's a game that I know Arkansas coaches have circled for several years. They knew that you want to start. You don't want to be 0-1 in the SEC every year. That's what it's been for 9 years.
Well, and it's also, Clay, it's like the same idea behind the losing streak to Missouri, which is now 5 years in a row. It's like these are the two schools that you want to make fun of, probably more than most, for obvious reasons in Texas A&M's case, and for Missouri because they still don't really feel like it's an SEC
because it's
school.
Missouri.
But all they have to do is say, we've beaten you 9 straight games. Like, your jokes don't really mean anything now. A win over Texas A&M means we get to keep telling those jokes, and now you've got a little something behind it.
Yeah, I still know the jokes, and I'm ready, but I'm not going to tell any this year. Right. I'm just not. So, and I can do a whole segment with A&M jokes. And they're part of my DNA. And I keep saying that the Aggies are Aggies and they'll screw it up, but they haven't of late. And Jimbo Fisher has been a good hire, and they know it. I don't know how much more money they can lop onto that contract, but this is the start of saying we don't need to give him any more money if Arkansas wins, and that's part of it.
We've had to hold on to the Aggies jokes until basketball season, and when you get to use them during baseball season, but you try to break them out in football season, it's like since they joined the same SEC, way. It just. I
still got them though. I haven't forgotten.
Got a whole book of them. Don't you?
I'll be ready, but you need to beat them first.
Got a whole book of them. Hey, Clay, 68% of Arkansas's offensive snaps have resulted in a running play. Now, I don't. There might be one other team in the league that has a percentage of running plays that's higher than that. I think it might be Tennessee, but that's it. Is this can that stay? Can that percentage remain the same? Throughout now your SEC schedule, which now begins this weekend.
No, it probably won't, and it's but it'll stay that way until somebody stops it. I mean, until somebody says no, you can't. And if you have to put too many in the box, well then you're leaving yourself open to one-on-one coverage with Treylon Burks, and that's a losing proposition. And Tyson Morse is beating one-on-one guys. I mean, I think he's going to see better quarterbacks as we move forward. Devion Warren is a guy that looks like he's got his health back, and I think there's in Warren Thompson. So they've got some weapons, and I believe that they're capable of exploiting the defense that's overloaded to stop the run. And the key aspect is, can you protect when there's 7 or 8 in the box? Because that means 7 or 8 can come after the quarterback. Now, there's something to be said for a running quarterback. If you load up and they, all at once you're mashed at the line and you crease it, well, KJ Jefferson's going to run a long ways. And there's not very many safeties that want to tackle him. I won't forget this soon. Steve Sarkisian said he's a big human. I mean, he is.
And he's designed. He's designed to run too. And
designed to run over you.
No
too.
question.
And look at the box score from last year, and I had forgotten exactly how all of these yards came. But Felipe Franks ran for 111 yards. When you counted the sacks, he ended up with 91. But Felipe wasn't really a running quarterback either. So they were able to find ways to get him through last year, and it wasn't just on scrambling.
No, when A&M lined up with the blitz look, with the pressure look, and they hit the weak spot in that because they knew they had man-to-man in the secondary. And when you have man-to-man and you run deep routes, the DBs turn their back. And I just have this vision of Felipe running, through the middle. Once he creased the line of scrimmage, there was going to be a long ways to run before anybody touched him. And that'll be the same thing this week if that's what Texas A&M decides to do. So you may get some help with the running quarterback, but that is, without question, that is a blitz deterrent, and that sets you up to play against straight defense, which really helps your offensive line.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really does feel like you keep throwing the term around sometimes, puncher's chance. I feel like Arkansas's got maybe a better than a puncher's chance in this one. Clay, we're coming up against it here, so we'll leave it there. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday at AT&T Stadium, and we'll be talking about it with you next week.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate y'all having me.
All right, you got it,
Have
Clay.
a good one, Clay.
Clay Henry, Hogs Illustrated, and he'll be on the Morning Rush later on this week. Hey, if you're looking for a new job, a new trade that can make a great living for you and your family, maybe get a look at welding. United Welding Institute in Pottsville can help you find great paying jobs everywhere welders are needed. Many make up to $2,000 per week or more. If you're interested but not sure if welding is something that is for you, United Welding Institute has a free trial. Take you through some steps to see if this will work for you. No strings attached. They can also help you obtain a GI Bill, scholarship, or student loan. 479-968-3390, UnitedWeldingInstitute.com, the website for all the information. Second hour halftime next.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone service to your home. Get amazingly fast fiber internet as low as $49.95 per month. TV packages start at $32.95. Fiber phone service starts at $29.95. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out if we're installing in your area. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Why do I run? Is it because I'm driven? Because I love the challenge? God, no. I do it for the beer. If you're the kind of runner who does it for the beer, this summer you can get one on us with the Michelob Ultra Beer Run. Grab your run buddies and get out there, because this summer there's beer at the finish line. Sign up at ultrabeerrun.com and trade your miles for beer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon, low 70s north, upper 70s south. Mainly clear sky tonight, and overnight low will drop down in the middle to upper 40s. A beautiful Thursday ahead with sunny skies, our high near 80. Friday, sunshine, our high 80 to 85. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, second hour halftime Wednesday. You know what that means. Got my box score. Arkansas beat Georgia Southern 45-10. I think mentally we really did this
Monday.
Probably before Saturday's game ended at Razorback Stadium, but here you go. All right, throw that thing away.
There we go.
I'm going to have to remember to uncrumple that thing later because I might need it Saturday. Might need that thing Saturday for a couple of notes. And, before we get into this, and you guys, they did what? What's your beef earlier this morning?
Yeah, Tommy did.
Yeah, 877-377-6963 for our calls and texts. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 texts today from JT in Hot Springs between the two shows that have already been on the air. Apparently he's been forced to stay home today, losing a fight with his doctors and his wife. So, JT, obviously you're listening right now. I don't know why it is you're home, but I hope you're okay.
Hope you feel okay and get that rest and relaxation.
Obviously bouncing off of the freaking walls by sending this many texts to such low-quality programming during your Wednesday. All right, it is time to get into our usual Wednesday 12 noon tradition, Change My Mind.
Did she just change my mind?
Now, I don't care what you say.
Nothing can make me change my mind.
I won't change my mind about you.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Oh, that is just so disrespectful for you to say something like that.
Say it with your chest.
Change my mind.
Maybe you need to change your internet. Wave Rural Connect, local and rural. Wave Rural Connect is a local rural provider living and working where you do. Wave Rural Connect features fast fiber internet starting at $49.95 for 100 megabits. You get a gigabit for $79.95. TV packages beginning at $32.95. Fiber phones at $29.95. Wave Rural Connect helps your business. They bring urban quality services to your hometown. Their number, 833-4WAVE-RC. That's 833-4WAVE-RC. Wave Rural Connect and Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative, changing the communities that they serve. All right, so I go back to yesterday when Maddie played a song by the Traveling Wilburys, and I put Jeff Lynne into an early grave.
Oh, no, that's never good.
My change my mind is I owe Jeff Lynne, one of the founding members of not just the Traveling Wilburys, but Electric Light Orchestra. I owe him an apology.
Well, that's good that you are owning up to your mistake.
I felt bad about that, and I'd even forgotten that he was a member of the Traveling Wilburys. I just remembered, the more famous ones, Roy Orbison and Tom Petty and George Harrison.
That was a backhanded compliment, the more famous ones.
Well, they are more famous than him. I didn't even know the name of the guy that was the founder from ELO.
What kind of apology is that?
I know
you put him
ELO.
in an early grave, and then you're like, well, he's not that famous.
But who are you? That's right. Who are you, non-dead guy? Yeah, I felt bad about it. It also reminded me of one of my favorite broadcaster stories from baseball. The guy that I grew up listening to, Lanny Fratteri, put James Earl Jones into an early grave once.
Uh-oh, that's never good.
So this is when James Earl Ray died. You remember him? He assassinated Martin Luther King. When James Earl Ray died, and it came over, this was pre-Twitter, and it came over the wire services, Lanny Fratteri immediately read it as James Earl Jones and then went into a long on-air remembrance of all of the great movies and characters that James Earl Jones was a part of. And, of course, Field of Dreams connects to baseball. Yes, you don't put the legends into an early grave.
No, you don't.
But we all know who James Earl Jones is.
Yes, we do.
I probably needed to know the name of Jeff Lynne since I do know some Electric Light Orchestra songs. So 2 apologies then to Jeff Lynne. 1, for putting him in an early grave, and 2, for not knowing your name.
Well, I think you also owe him an apology, not for knowing his name, but also, that backhanded compliment of, sorry, but you're not that famous, so not sorry. So
yeah. You're famous, but you're not, you're not a Beatle.
Famous,
you're not Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely not Tom Petty.
No.
And you're not Roy Orbison. So sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but not sorry in that case.
That's just how life works. Some people are just more famous than others.
Might have changed my own mind. What do you got, Drew?
All right. So I'm not a conspiracy person whatsoever, right? I don't believe in the conspiracies and all the wackadoodle ideas that are out there. But I'm going to have to put my tinfoil hat on, okay? I'm about to put it on because somebody is entering my thoughts and affecting my life. And I am convinced that whoever is in charge of scheduling times of games has it out for me. Because
does this have anything to do with the 11 o'clock game against Georgia?
It does. And it's not because it's early or because I might have to do the pregame show. I have no problem. I get up. We're on air here at 6 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday at ESPN Arkansas. The conspiracy, though, that they have it out for me is because 4 of the 5 weeks, Arkansas and the University of East West Memphis will have kicked off at the exact same time. So they also have the exact same bye week. Somebody owes me a second TV to try to watch all this football at the same time.
No.
Because they are screwing with my life.
No. They're doing you a favor. They're actually doing you a favor by trying
What you talking about, Willis?
By trying to get you to forget about the University of East West Memphis.
I'm never going to forget about.
To try to move on.
I'm trying to do my job.
The team that you cover on a daily basis.
Exactly.
The schedule makers of college football actually are parading as radio consultants at the same time. For this very radio station that you're working on. I did not do this. There might have been some listeners that had something to do with it. The schedule makers for college football
it is a conspiracy.
Are doing you a service, Drew Barrett. Yes, it is a conspiracy, and it's a conspiracy so that you are laser focused, and therefore better at your job.
I will be laser focused on the Southwest Classic, but now this makes me have to go back and rewatch instead of just being able to enjoy a full Saturday slate. If one's kicked off at 11 and the other one kicked off at 6, I would be able to constantly be in bliss of college football, right? But now it creates homework for me. I have to go back and watch.
Yeah, and it's impossible to not know the score of the game.
Exactly, and I don't want it to be ruined. Yeah. When I watch a game, I don't want to know the outcome. So therefore, I would have to, regardless of which game I watch first, because half of my Twitter is back home, half of my Twitter is here.
Let's put this to the listeners. Let's see what they think. Are the schedule makers
it's a conspiracy.
Actually out to hurt Drew Barrett, or are they really trying to help him in a professional sense? 877-377-6963.
You act like I don't do my professional due diligence. You act like I don't do my homework here.
You do your full due diligence. I know you're watching every Razorback game, with your seat, your butt on the edge of the seat, and a pencil in your ear, and binoculars while you're looking at the TV screen so that you get a closer look at everything. I know you're doing your due diligence. But these radio consultants / college football schedule makers, they're doing 2 jobs at once here. So, these are some pretty hardcore people. They know how to create a conspiracy that you were even unaware of until this very moment.
I just thought it was a coincidence for the first couple of weeks, and now I'm full on the conspiracy board. I got my tinfoil hat on, and I'm ready to go into a bunker to keep them from getting in my head. They're in there.
We've been doing Change My Mind for 3 years. It's so rare that I actually have changed the mind of the host. I think I just did. I think I get a W for today. I got to chalk up a W for this segment.
I'll give you a nice round of applause. Feeling
really, really good about myself now.
Good job, Phil. Good job.
Thank you very much.
You win the day.
All right.
You carpe diemed.
And the other thing, too, congratulations to Tommy Kraft for having these radio consultants without even having to pay them. Halftime's
so these
right
people
back.
tried to screw up my life for free. Okay.
That's exactly right. They're screwing up your life by making it better. All right, we got to change my mind in here. Say Aaron in Clarksville says there's going to be a Texas trophy coming soon. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do and agree with you on that.
I agree.
Michael in Fort Smith schedules did a drive-by paintball shooting.
They
on
did.
Drew. They pulled a Rutgers Scarlet paintball nights on you.
So many bullets. I look like Swiss cheese.
Hey, we got a schedule for 2022. Anybody got any plans yet for next year? Get your bar mitzvahs, get your bat mitzvahs, get your weddings planned, and make sure no babies are born on Saturdays, right?
Exactly.
You can't be doing that either.
Plan it out.
Let's be real here. Halftime right back.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet Online and start playing today. That's Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Sammy Hagar hammered out this classic hard rock tune, There's Only One Way to Rock. The Bible hammers out this hard rock truth, There's only one way to God. And this world can disagree. They don't understand how this must be. And it's not my point of view, it's a fact, and you know that it's true. There's only no way that Jesus and his disciples would willingly die for what they knew to be a lie. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet
USA Furniture, family owned and serviced after the sale. Also, we have in-store no credit check financing. I want you to remember one name, Frank Rowe Furniture, located at 405 4th Street in Barling, Arkansas, or check us out on Facebook. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
This is ESPN 95.3. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, we got our schedule for 2022. Is that exciting that you've only played 3 games in 2021?
Well, at least now we know how to plan our 2022s accordingly. You know, like you said, with weddings and bat mitzvahs and quinceañeras and all the other celebrations of life that we have on a yearly basis, we now know how to plan accordingly. So it is exciting. And when you plan big events like this, like that, you kind of need to have at least a year out. So, but I mean, in best advice, just don't do anything during the fall. Don't get married. Don't have a birthday. Don't have an anniversary during the fall. Just, it's that simple.
Basically, just stay in 6 days out of the week.
Yeah.
Go out Saturday, and that's it.
Pretty much.
Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, that's all you need. You live for one day in the fall, which it's now officially fall.
Well, it's a great schedule for Arkansas next year. I mean, great in terms of
entertaining,
really good home games. But, man, that's another tough one. And, look, headline news. You play in the SEC West. You're going to have one of the toughest, if not the toughest schedule in the country every year. You add BYU, add Cincinnati to it. Add a really good, add a really good FCS team in Missouri State. Throw Bobby Petrino on top of that. It's a really exciting schedule. Outstanding. I mean, you don't even have to go really to an opponent's home field until the 6th week, October 8th. That's at Mississippi State. Yeah, Cincy, South Carolina, Missouri State at home, then Jerry World for A&M, then Alabama at home. I forget who was texting us about this yesterday, that the Alabama game used to be earlier in the season, and for the last few years it's been moved to almost kind of where it is now.
Yeah.
And
last 2-3 games a year.
By that point, Alabama usually is playing pretty darn good football. So now, I mean, that's next year Arkansas gets Alabama in the 2nd SEC game. I saw where Auburn doesn't have a road game until the 5th week of the season. Arkansas did them one better, though they are the road team for the A&M game next year.
Technically.
And they are traveling. But Auburn does not leave Jordan-Hare Stadium next year until week 5.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a full month.
And Auburn's one of 3 SEC schools next year that has 8 home games. I mean, you feel like you've hit a pot of gold for Arkansas, even just getting 7 home games. I mean, you have five this year, and it should be 7, of course. You got the Little Rock game, Pine Bluff, and you got the A&M game, which is a home game as well. Auburn, LSU, and Kentucky have 8 home games next year. LSU has 7 games on campus, but they open against Florida State in the Superdome, which
caught on fire yesterday. So
it's a home.
Is it still going to be? Is the Superdome going to be okay? Well, it's already caught on fire.
From what I understood, it injured. One person was injured. Not too much major damage done, but it's not like the Saints were playing there anyway. Recently,
do you guys know what the cause of the fire was?
It was a pressure washer.
Exactly. So the building itself wasn't actually – the pressure washer was on fire. And they had to put that – so there's burning to the outside of the
Okay.
Yeah. That's what happened at the very end of the show yesterday.
Yeah. I announced it literally as the music is counting us down.
Yeah, as the music ended. It was a bit of an awkward moment.
I mean, that was a breaking news story. I felt like people should know that, hey, the Superdome's on fire. It's not a big fire, but there's a fire. You can see the smoke.
Well, it isn't anymore. You don't get one of these 3-week stretches where you have just like incredibly difficult road games, and still, the A&M game is a road game, and this year Arkansas plays Georgia, then Ole Miss, both on the road. I mean, this is the toughest stretch in college football, I think, for anybody for this year. You don't have one of those stretches next year. There are three consecutive road games
yeah,
where there's an open date thrown in there.
There is an open date thrown in there, but I was about to bring up those 3 games. I mean, at State, Mike Leach is eventually going to get that program turned around. The air raid is eventually going to work the way that it worked at Texas Tech and Washington State. It's eventually going to get turned around, and year 3 seems like a pretty good mark for that to happen. BYU is always very competitive. You have to go to Provo, Utah, which is not an easy place to play. It's a sober place, so you can't even, get up for the game, really, if you plan on going out to Provo. But, I mean, it is beautiful country out there. And then you're on the plains at Auburn, which you would just expect that they would get better next year. And, I mean, they're already, I think, at least for me, head and shoulders where I thought they would be, because I had so many question marks coming into this season about Auburn, and they answered most of them and pretty much shut me up with their close loss to Penn State last week. So I think that's going to be a pretty damning 3-game stretch. And I've seen some people react to the Cincinnati game to start off the season. That should actually be a pretty decent and easy win for Arkansas. And it's no disrespect against Cincinnati, what they're doing right now, but you also got to remember their starting quarterback, Desmond Ridder, won't be back next year. Who knows if Luke Fickell, the head coach, will be back with so many, proposal of 5 Power 5 jobs opening up throughout the season and in the offseason. So who knows how much of this current team is actually still going to be intact. And when you lose a dynamic player like Desmond Ridder has been for the Bearcats, it's going to take a lot to replace him. So that's I don't see that as that daunting of an opening match as I've seen some people react to it.
You look at where their ranking is now, and
this year it's a go for a year, but next year,
But it still is a program, and programs sometimes are able to replace guys like that. And certainly seems Fickell's got him rolling. But, yeah, we'll find out. Can't wait to see LaVell Edwards Stadium in Provo, BYU's home stadium. And you got the mountains right there.
It is pretty.
Great atmosphere.
No booze, but pretty.
And, who needs the booze, honestly, for the scene that you'll get there? It's going to be gorgeous. And I haven't been to a sporting event
in Utah
high
on life
since I did rookie league baseball there. And it's such a gorgeous state. Can't wait to see Can't wait to see what that's going to look like. Sam Pittman has already been on the SEC coaches teleconference today. Just looking through Twitter here for some of his quotes. This is funny. Somebody asked him about his reaction to the schedule reveal, and Pittman's quote is, quote, "Believe it or not, I knew about the schedule way before it was released yesterday," unquote. What's your reaction to the reveal? I knew the schedule. That's my reaction.
My reaction? No reaction.
He gave an update on Dalton Wagner and Ricky Stromberg, basically by saying there wasn't an update.
Mm-hmm.
Both linemen have yet to practice this week. Not sure if they're going to play against Texas A&M. And that's the big, that's the big thing health-wise for this
big
team
question
right
mark.
now. I mean, you've missed, you haven't dealt with injuries, at least in terms of missing action too much. Like Traylon Smith apparently has been banged up since he had the turf toe problem that kept him out of practice for a couple of weeks in fall camp. And he, it sounds like he hasn't been 100% yet, but he's still been a pretty productive running back so far, and he hasn't missed a game. And you've got a great stable of backs if someone's there, but like the positions that you just can't lose anybody right now. It feels. Losing one offensive lineman, you feel
it's
all right.
Tough enough.
Well, losing one offensive lineman, you got Clary there as that
rotation
kind of
guy,
jack of all trades, like the Swiss Army knife, can play all the positions, and showed you that not just yesterday, but throughout his career. He's started at 3 different positions. But losing the second starting offensive lineman, if that's the case with Dalton Wagner, then it's like, well, now you've got to take somebody out of position that they're used to. Maybe you have to use your backups a little bit. You didn't think you'd see Tykees Crawford or Jalen St. John at all. Maybe you're going to have to see them a little bit now.
Yeah, you're just going to have to widen the rotation a little bit more. And you're going to have to rotate them in there more.
And so that, it's football. Injuries happen, and you always have to find a way to replace somebody when they get hurt, right? And so now at one spot where – maybe you could withstand one injury, but 2 really makes it that much tougher. This isn't necessarily a group that's plug and play. It might have to be that. Halftime's brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that's been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. Crabtree RV Center is on a 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor, and there's no place better in the state. Right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma beside the Cracker Barrel. Crabtree RV Center will give every family the best experience. They'll help you choose the right RV for your adventures. They'll help you out in between with a service and parts department. And Crabtree RV makes your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. The inventory right there at crabtreerv.com. Bill King joins us after the break, the king of college football talk. Get his thoughts on Arkansas A&M and other things happening across the Southeastern Conference on halftime.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Are you looking to renovate your spice cabinet? Well, Rub It Snout All Grub Rubs will do just that. This is the one seasoning that is fantastic on all food. Rub It Snout is literally the only seasoning you'll need. Our family of All Grub Rubs will take any food to the maximum level of flavor. Rub It Snout All Grub Rubs are excellent for cooking, smoking, grilling, frying, and baking. But don't take our word for it. Get yours now. Spread the rub. Go to rubitsnout.com to place your order.
When it comes to baling, the denser, the better. Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas can show you how roll belt round balers produce denser and higher quality round bales that drive down your production costs while driving up the nutrition of your bales. A competitive comparison showed New Holland roll belt round balers provide savings in net wrap, transportation, and lower storage losses. It's like being able to afford a new baler every other year. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas soon to learn firsthand about the benefits of roll belt round balers.
If you needed major surgery, you probably wouldn't choose a doctor who's never been to medical school. So when your car needs major repairs after a collision, why would you take your car to a body shop that's never been trained? Evans Body Shop is among only 10% of collision repair businesses to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class shop. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and how to repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. With the safety of your vehicle and your family at stake, choose trained repair professionals. Choose Evans Body Shop.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
One time at B-Dubs, this crew came in hungry for flavor in football. Lucky for them, we've got both for days, especially on Boneless Thursdays. With buy one, get one free hot and crispy boneless wings and football on wall-to-wall TVs, that crew couldn't leave hungry if they tried. Get here for Boneless Thursdays at Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times.
BOGO boneless wings of equal value at participating locations on Thursdays. Not valid with other offers. Size exclusions apply while supplies last. Limit 1. Fees may apply.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Winter is just around the corner. At AOG, we realize some customers are facing new challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. Our customer service team can offer payment options or direct you to utility payment assistance agencies in your area for help. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Daddy worked like a mule mining Pike County coal.
Start every Saturday with Arkansas Game Day 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Let's get in here with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. Hosts Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. And the king of college football talk. Usually gives us some of his time on Wednesday. We always appreciate that. Bill, how are you today?
Hey, guys. Good to be with you.
Well, we are
glad to have you.
Always glad to have you, Bill. And just, look through your Twitter feed, and a few days ago you're picking the Aggies and the Razorbacks as potentially the best game of the weekend. CBS certainly knew that. And we're, 9 straight losses for Arkansas against Texas A&M since they joined the SEC, and it really feels right now, and I mean, some people have said Arkansas's got a puncher's chance. I feel they've got better than just a puncher's chance in this game. What do you think about this matchup Saturday?
Yeah, I got that 1-1, Wisconsin, Notre Dame, too. I agree with you. I think Arkansas right now is playing better. A&M's offense is bogged down, and that's going to be a problem, I think, in this game. I like Arkansas's chances. I don't think it's you didn't use the term wild punch, but I don't think it's a puncher's chance. I think it's a legit, straight up, winnable game for Arkansas.
Well, all right. So I know you watched the Texas game. It's not that you really needed to watch very much about the Georgia Southern game. With this offense right now, having KJ Jefferson and his threat of running on almost any play. And Sam Pittman has talked about this. It freezes the defense on the outside for about half a second. Then it makes a huge difference for this running attack. And I think going into this season, Bill, a lot of folks thought, look, you're losing a quarterback in Felipe Franks who was steady and moved it down the field nicely and set a school record in completion percentage. And I know Felipe ran for like 111 yards last year against Texas A&M. But what Jefferson adds to this offense, man, I mean, it's unique, I think, in the SEC with his ability to run and that size and his arm strength. There's something about KJ that feels unique in this league.
Big quarterback, athlete, can run. And not only that, but I think the offensive line at Arkansas is playing probably as good as anybody in the league. And Alabama had some struggles, as you saw, once that game got going, once they were up 21-3 in the Florida game. O-line, couple positions. They've got their center out of place right now. They got a right tackle that they're worried about at Alabama. Arkansas, tackle to tackle, shoulder to shoulder on the offensive line, I think is playing as well as anybody.
I wouldn't disagree with you, Bill. And you bring up the Florida, what they were able to do, come back against Alabama. Do you think that they have the talent and they can actually compete with Georgia in the East?
I didn't. That was an eye opener right there. I still think Georgia's playing probably the most complete football of any team in the country right now, and they still don't have several of their bigger name weapons like Pickens and the big tight end Darnell Washington. Still not playing, and it's impressive. They found a lot of new weapons there, and quarterback position has been very good. They're not real excellent, let me say, at the cornerback position right now. That's a bit of a worry for them. I still think Georgia's better than Florida in the cocktail party down the road, but it is a better matchup. You're on to something. It's a better matchup than I would have thought a week ago.
Oh, it's definitely.
And guys, the other thing is Emory Jones was not playing all that well, and he played quite well in that game, that Alabama game.
Yeah, definitely. They've shot up the board as far as my mind for how well that they were able to compete against Bama. And after the weekend, you heard a lot of different opinions on, is what Florida did kind of exposing Alabama good for the SEC or kind of bad? Because some people view it as, hey, Florida just gave us a blueprint. I kind of view it as Florida just pissed Nick Saban off. That's not good for anybody. Do you think that there was more of a showing of how to beat Bama, or did it just make Saban mad and now everything's going to get ironed out and they're going to be as unstoppable as we thought they were coming into the year?
Nobody sells issues, problems better than Nick Saban to their team. There's nobody even in his universe. And again, they were up big on Miami and then didn't do much in the second half. What did he say? It was a 17-16 game. And Miami's not as good as Florida. But this is a sales point for his team. They've got a couple of offensive line issues that they can solve. They're also not playing their best running back. They're playing a guy that's been around a long time, Brian Robinson, number 4, who's good, but he's not their best back. They've got younger backs better than him.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a couple of problems on defense, notably linebacker right now, that's giving them some trouble, and a safety position. But, Nick, look, they've recruited so well there. The other thing is a lot of people are down on the defensive coordinator, Pete Gold. He has not been real popular among the fan base. Not that they have a say in anything, but there's been a question mark about how he has really done for that side of the ball the last couple of years as their coordinator.
Bill, doesn't it feel like there's an opening for somebody else? You know, for the college football playoff to not be so full of chalk as it has been in the last few years. I mean, Alabama maybe looks vulnerable. Clemson,
they're going to beat themselves.
Clemson is vulnerable, even though they may still run through the rest of the ACC. The loss to Georgia, I think, ends up costing them. Ohio State, vulnerable. Oklahoma looks vulnerable too. You know, I mean, there's an opening this year, maybe for more than one or even two teams to get to that playoff in a place we haven't been in that for a long time.
It's less chalky in the moment than it's been. That's true. That is true. Clemson's total issue is offense. And what's shocking is they don't look to have any answers with playmakers. They don't have any secret weapon that has yet to run out there and dominate. And remember, they didn't run the ball that well last year with Travis Etienne, a All-American running back. And now they're not as good there. They're playing a five-star true freshman, a Charlotte kid, but he's not quite ready. And the quarterback play has been iffy. The receiver play, there's just not a lot of playmakers. Now, their defense, Clemson's defense, is nasty, wicked. I'd say other than Georgia, it's probably the best defense I've seen this year. Ohio State's got issues everywhere. The defense, the defensive scheme, the quarterback, he's put up a whole lot of yards, but he's inconsistent in his passing game. Now, they just unleashed the number 1 running back in the class of 21, Trayvon Henderson, and he went for, 270 in that last game. So the running back, they just upgraded for sure, but they've got issues. And Oklahoma, Spencer Rattler is not playing anywhere near a prohibitive favorite to be the Heisman winner. Not even, I wouldn't put him on the list right now, probably. And they're not better defensively like we were told.
So there are two big games next week that will have a lot to do with, the way the playoff ends up shaking out. And in those games, two teams that are involved in them have bye weeks this week. Ole Miss gets to rest before they go take on Alabama. Cincinnati gets to rest before they travel to South Bend. And it feels like, if there are openings there, Cincinnati beats Notre Dame, maybe Ole Miss figures out Alabama. But that's next week. But, there you go. These two teams that they get a chance to rest for, their biggest games of the season.
No question. And Notre Dame's got to play Wisconsin up in Chicago this Saturday. That'll be by far the best team they've seen to date. Cincinnati will then be the best team that they've seen. Notre Dame's got all kinds of problems. Offensive line's getting killed. Toledo's defensive front pushed around Notre Dame's offensive line. Defense played a little bit better against Purdue. Passing game's gotten better, but Notre Dame, I wouldn't. And I'm a Notre Dame aficionado, guys. If I had a vote, which I don't, and I don't want one, I wouldn't vote him in my top 25 right now.
Wow, that's saying a lot. Especially when you talk about what Notre Dame is and how they've
Yeah.
Just the name presence of it all. And, Notre Dame just feels like they belong in that category every single year.
They're ranked right now on brand alone.
Yeah.
It has nothing. That goes to show you how much people take into account what they actually see.
I mean, it's the same thing with preseason polls. I mean, we see, your Texases and Notre Dames and USC's every single year being over-evaluated and being put on a pedestal just from brand alone. But since we're talking about the CFP kind of being a little bit more open, these are two brands. But who do you think is more likely out of these 2 3-0 teams thus far to make a run at the CFP? Is it Oregon out of the Pac-12, or is it Michigan to finally get over Ohio State and be the Big Ten representative?
Michigan is impressive. Now, really hadn't played anybody to punch back. Washington's not very good. That win's not as good as the brand would tell us it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say Oregon. Now, there's one little issue here. Southern Cal just woke up. Maybe. They switched quarterbacks due to an injury. Jackson Dart, who was a big West Coast quarterback recruit, and when Keaton Slovis went down, they put him in, and he played really well. And they were losing, I believe, to Washington State 14-7 at the time. Then they blew them out. And Clay Helton's gone, as we know. And it looked like, in one game, guys, so I want to be hesitant, but it looked like that whole team loosened up and played free and played up to their ability. If that is indeed a trend, Oregon has another issue on their hands.
So you just mentioned USC, and they made the biggest coaching change of the season so far just by getting rid of Clay Helton. It feels like Florida State may be on that same path at some point. I'm hearing.
Doesn't feel like Mike's going to make it.
A totally divided locker room there, and it gets uglier every week for Florida State and Mike Norvell.
The only issue is, and he inherited a nothing roster from Willie Taggart. But the only issue is they just ran a guy before 2 years and had to pay him off. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think he gets a third year no matter what. Unless there's just some scandal that's on the front page of every rag in the world, I think they give him another year. And unless they get a call from somebody who is a difference maker behind the scenes, I just think they're forced to. And I don't know that they got the money. If indeed they have to pay him off, he's still got 4 years after this year at about $4.5 million a pop, after paying off Willie Taggart and the assistants.
Yeah, Florida State's got a pretty big budget, but that's just way too many coaches to be playing. But plus, you're going to have to pay the new guy to come in. So, honestly, they almost force their hand to stay unless, they kind of conduct something behind the scenes like we've kind of seen at some other programs to get out of paying, to get that pay with clause type of thing, or get out of paying without clause. And one program that I think's kind of been done that recently is Tennessee. And I want to ask you more importantly about the schedule release of Tennessee and the reaction of paying extra $100K to get rid of Army and replace them with Akron. How has that been received with the scheduling news coming out yesterday?
I mean, I've only seen people tweet about it, and obviously I'm assuming they don't want to have to prepare for what Army brings you, would you say, brutal triple option, and a bunch of guys who would rather die than give up or lose a ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, Tennessee'd probably be an underdog against them. Think about the contrasting styles, too, of play offensively between one and the other. But, yeah, they're catching some heat from fans and media about it, et cetera. They don't want to – whoever the defensive coordinator is at that time doesn't want to be preparing for that offense, I'm assuming.
Bill, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time, as always. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll do it again next week, as long as you got the time.
Okay.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. You might be looking for a new job, new career, maybe something that's more than just a job. You might want to become an EMT or a paramedic. If you have the passion to help others, you want the opportunity to work with an involved team and learn from the best, Baxter Regional Medical Center can assist you in becoming an EMT in one semester, Paramedic, it takes 3 to 4 semesters, and you can get complete certification or degree without student loan debt. If you're looking for more than just a job, Baxter Regional Medical Center has the opportunity right now. You can go to baxterregional.org for more information on all available positions, or you can call them 870-508-1883. Going to wrap halftime up after the break. Stay with us.
In the mood for a top shelf night? 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of our delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
To some, that may just sound like ice hitting heavy-duty plastic. But to a Bud Light legend, it's a signal that says it's time. Time to dust off the barbecue tongs and load up the cooler with 37 Bud Lights and an assortment of dips. Because it's time to take back all the fun we've missed. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. Let's take summer by the coolers. Cooler up at BudLightLegends.com. Enjoy responsibly. 2021 AB Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is growing and looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building experience or you have welding skills, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits. Join the top fence building team in the state. The Fence Man. Apply today in person. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone service to your home. Get amazingly fast fiber internet as low as $49.95 per month. TV packages start at $32.95. Fiber phone service starts at $29.95. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out if we're installing in your area. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Laws Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Laws Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Laws Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Laws Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Stopped up kitchen sink, a slow draining shower, toilets that won't flush? All of these can be a nightmare. This is Emily with Mr. Reuter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that our staff does video camera inspection? This ensures that these headaches are fixed, giving you peace of mind. When you need plumbing, call Mr. Reuter in Fort Smith or book online at mrreuter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Hi, it's Phil Elson for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers.
What kind of hamburger? Cheeseburgers. No. Where'd you get them?
You've gotten to enjoy the greatness of CJ's Burgers in Russellville and Fayetteville. Well, I've got big news. This fall, CJ's is excited to be serving Arkansas's favorite burger at Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium.
Go home!
Nothing beats a CJ's Burger and hog football. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Now I'm really hungry.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Yeah! For the first time, it's going down history, baby!
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Halftime brought to you today by The Fenceman. If you own a business that needs a little more security or just want it to look better, then a new fence from The Fenceman can do it all for you. They've been in business for more than 40 years, custom installing all types of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. The Fenceman also features 18-month, same as cash financing, 479-782-3936. For The Fenceman, 479-782-3936. He ain't afraid of no work. We've got breaking news here from our text line. It's actually pretty shocking. Resident pessimist Bruce in Nashville is optimistic about the Arkansas Razorback football season. I don't believe this.
I don't either. He's lying. He's trying to do some reverse psychology on us.
Bruce had no faith in Arkansas men's basketball after the back-to-back losses in the middle of January, and consistently came during baseball season saying, and he ended up being right, that there was an Achilles heel, but they still ended up, having a great season, even
Elite
without
Eight's
going to
pretty
Omaha,
good.
all of that kind of stuff. I was not ready to fully buy into this Razorback football team until I saw an optimistic text from Bruce. Like, we all have that one person, that one friend.
As soon as they're on board, we can finally get on
It's
board.
like you realize once this person believes, then it's okay to hop on the bandwagon and hold on with both hands.
I mean,
Bruce could find. Let's put it this way: if I open the door here in my place and look outside, it's an absolutely gorgeous sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. Bruce could point out a raindrop in that sky.
Well, Bruce is an Eeyore type of person. It's never going to work out, and I don't want to be mean to Bruce, but he's hasn't always been the most optimistic, upbeat person on our text line. So he feels like an Eeyore, or somebody who would complain if you gave him $100 because now he has to go spend $100.
I love Bruce because he marinates in this. I mean, I think he's proud of his perspective, as he should be, as we all should be. So if he believes, and he believes because of the Texas game, but it's like the theme on Monday was rubber meets road in the SEC, and that's why we got a couple of texts earlier about, and you asked Clay about it too, does a win over A&M replace the Texas win? Like emotionally, no, but because there's such this deep-seated hatred of Texas and all of that. But if you erase the emotion aspect of it, a win over Texas A&M means a hell of a lot more than a win over Texas in terms of how good this team is.
Yeah, and as far as, when CFP rankings do come out in, over a month. We still got a month. We're a month away from that, and there's a lot of ball to be played in. But a win over A&M, it's almost like, points with the BCS. A win over A&M holds a lot more weight than with Texas. And with Bruce, though, here, I feel like he's trying to set us up. He's trying to build us up so that if for some reason it did crash, Bruce could come back with, well, I told you it wasn't going to work out. I feel like I need to actually hear Bruce call us, and that way I can actually hear the passion and the delight in his voice.
He's one of those listeners who has no voice. He just has fingers to text with.
See, and that's what makes me worried. That's what makes me actually believing Bruce here. I feel like he's trying to set us up.
You're not quite sure what to believe anymore.
I'm not.
Now that I changed your mind earlier in the show, and that these football schedule
up
makers
is down,
really
east
are radio
is west.
consultants.
I mean, it's just the world has been turned on its axis for me today. Phil,
gonna
I'm going to
make
have
it
to
through
just
the
go
day.
home and look out the window and seriously think and contemplate life, because it's just the world that I know today is not the world I thought I woke up to.
Nope, that's exactly right. Aaron says, let Bruce eat the berries, and then we will. Hopefully I didn't say something I shouldn't have said there. B.E. says, turn in your half-full glass now. Now we don't even know who you are anymore. Saturday Night Live, Debbie Downer.
That's perfect. That is Bruce. Just everybody's having a good time, and then Bruce has got to talk about how bees are dying at an alarming rate.
Skyler says all wins have come by 15 points or more this year.
That is correct.
You'll take a 1-point win for the rest of the season unless it's the Pine Bluff game. Like, that's the truth now. Who cares the margin of victory for the rest of the season? You're playing SEC teams with the exception of Pine Bluff, so just 1 point. One point will matter.
And
but,
honestly, that's all you need.
It's
the grand scheme of things. The person that scores the most points wins, and it doesn't matter if that's by 1 or by 50.
If you want respect that sticks around, like Arkansas got some respect nationally from the beatdown of Texas. You moved into the polls. You got the Cheez-It Bowl Team of the Week, and people were talking about Arkansas football. But with all the chants of SEC that you heard that day, everybody else in the SEC was thinking, yeah, our team can do the same thing to Texas because they're not SEC. How you get respect from that fan base, from the media members in the SEC, is by winning SEC games. And if you want to look, Texas A&M may have some issues on the offensive line. This is still a team that is built on athleticism, strength, physicality. And that's what Arkansas tries to play with too. So, that's why rubber meets road in the SEC. You can beat anybody outside of like a few of the other programs in other conferences. But until you win an SEC game, beat an SEC team, and especially one that's beaten you 9 straight years.
How for real are you?
Yeah, it just won't matter. And we've made it to the end of another wonderful edition of Halftime.
Hey.
I want to remind all men between the ages of 45 and 75 get screened for prostate cancer. It's the most common cancer affecting Arkansas men. arprostatecancer.org to find out all the locations that you can get free screenings and the resources. And for Maddie T and for Drew, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.